Okay, so I'm gonna start now. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Fishbowl Stand-Up Spring 2021 show. Yay! Coming to you not so live with a limited audience and COVID precautions. Yay! So yeah, hopefully this isn't our last show of the semester because that'd be pretty lame. But stay tuned. Follow us on YouTube. Follow us on all of our social medias. With all that said, I am going to go into my set, but I would just like to say, if you're related to me, please go in the description and pick the next person's timestamp and just skip mine altogether, because I really don't want you watching this. So I've been trying to get into casual sex lately. I've been depressed, and me and my friends decided that instead of like therapy or like healthy coping mechanisms, I should just let someone destroy me until my inner demons are silenced. I kind of agree with them though, because I kind of think like meaningless, unattached sex sounds a little bit cathartic, but I just think there are like a few things standing in my way that make it hard for me. Men just sit there and are so boring and expect me to just give it up for them. And like I understand that attraction doesn't play like a super huge part in this, like I'm no fucking fool. I understand that like I don't want to talk to them or like see them like longer than it takes for me to make like a gas station and come and go, you know? It just bothers me that they feel so entitled to my attention. Like these guys are out here expecting to like one-word answer their way into some pussy or just tell me about how much they love their dog and hope that it makes me want to blow them. And I really just think they're going about it all wrong. But I also think I have a problem. My problem is called I'm recently bisexual, but not in the cool way where I used to be straight, in the fucked up way where I used to be completely gay. And that transition has just been like a little difficult for me. I've spent like so long developing like a personality and getting like a bunch of hobbies and becoming like really interesting and cute. Being a girl boss, if you will. And because that's what, you know, women were looking for. Basically what I'm saying is I feel like when it comes to like women or other queer people, I don't really feel like I have a problem getting them to like me. But I realize now that an unintentional side effect of all that like interestingness and all that girl bossness is that I scare men a lot. I realized this when I went out with a guy a few days ago. I was pretty excited because it was my first ever date with a real man. And ooh, I laughed so hard I forgot my fucking joke. The guy wasn't really my type, but we were having good conversation over text, so I decided to give him a chance. That went horrifically wrong. It all started when we like sat down because we went out to eat. And have you ever been talking to someone and realized that they think you're completely fucking insane? Like, have you ever like, you're talking to someone, you see their smile falter a little bit, you see the fear behind their eyes, and you're like, wow, do I sound like I could potentially completely lose it right now? That's what happened. We were talking about how we both like to cook, and I offhandedly mentioned that I would cook more, I just don't have time. He made the mistake of asking me about my schedule, and I made the mistake of telling him about my day-to-day life. To make it really short, to give you guys just a spark note, I'm a workaholic, and as previously mentioned, my schedule makes me sound fucking insane. And after I finished my totally shouldn't be talking about this on a first date spiel, he just looked at me and went, wow, that sounds awful. And I, with all of my charismatic charm, looked at him and said, yeah, it kind of is sometimes, but like I like doing it. I know that makes me sound really twisted, but I promise you I'm not. Unsurprisingly, he ghosted me soon afterwards. I'm not really that broken up about it though, because I found out through my friends that he used to be in a thing with this girl we knew, and apparently he would frequently call her his little sex toy. So I honestly think I dodged a bullet there. Here's the other thing, though, that's embarrassing about going from gay to bisexual. I feel like I've taken like a huge step down as far as like expectations on how I should be treated. Like almost all of my experiences with women on dating apps have been overwhelmingly positive. Like we message back and forth, have really good conversation, we plan a cute date or two. If it doesn't work out, it's whatever. So far my experiences with men on dating apps have been them ghosting me after a few sentences, them ghosting me after a date, them unmatching me after making plans, seeing a lot of dead animals in profile pictures, bad conversation, or dirty talk that's more confusing than it is hot, to be honest. For example, I had a guy tell me I should get ready for him to, and I quote, come over and fuck my face until he spray paints the back of my throat. Presumably with his cum, but he left it open-ended, so who's to say? That sentence was just so silly to me that I lost all interest in the interaction I was having. And instead of proceeding with the hookup, I went over to my roommate's room and we just went through the messages and laughed until we died. I honestly think that's kind of the best thing that's come out of this whole bisexuality thing is getting closer to my female friends. Like before we were obviously close, but now I relate to them on like a whole new level I previously have never had access to before. Like before we were like, maybe we'll split the cost of weed close, or I'll call you at 5 a.m. when I'm crying because I just woke up and reality's so hard close. But now we're on the level where it's like, let me add you to my Life 360 circle in case you go on this date and this guy decides to fucking kill you type of close. And I think that's awesome. And that's the end of my set. Bye. Now welcoming on a fabulous woman. Give it up for Emily, everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I speak for everyone when I say that my mental health has deteriorated exponentially with the pandemic. And I don't think, though, that it's gotten to a point where I would do something rash and permanent, though, like join the army. No disrespect to anybody who has enlisted or served in the army, but I don't think that I would consider myself even minimally qualified to hold a gun, let alone shoot other people. And if we're being honest, my military knowledge is very minimal and probably doesn't span past Call of Duty. And I mean, I've never asked, but I don't think it's a reputable source of information. So I just don't see myself joining the army. And also, I would just like to point out that just by looking at me, I don't see myself being whipped into shape by the army. You know, like if I can't do it for my own health, why the fuck would I do it for my country? And a fair point I also feel is that, like, I mean, sure, the army probably gets like cool toys, but do they get like invisibility suits and jetpacks? Because like if they do, like they should probably lead with that. Like if they want to recruit people, they should start there, not free college and integrity. And I normally don't make promises for my future because I accept the fact that I have no idea what bullshit I'm gonna be on. But one thing that I can promise is that I will never ever be the third for those couples on Tinder looking for a third. Like, do you know how cringy it is to look at cropped photos of just like your bodies and read that bio, knowing that someone genuinely thought this was a good idea? Or worse, two people thought that this was a good way to have a threesome. I also want to acknowledge the fact that like it would probably be really hard to have a threesome with a couple I mean, I don't know about you, but I would feel really weird about letting a dude fuck me in front of his girlfriend. Because normally when I fuck girls' boyfriends, like, they're not home. Also, they probably have, like, a routine already, right? Like an efficient plan of action. And I'm the new guy, okay? I have never been trained. I would probably need to be brought up to speed. And that's just a situation that I don't think that I could be in. I don't think that it helps also that I already live with two couples. One of them, whom I have to listen, have aggressive sex frequently. And the other, they just kind of like lay around all day, constant PDA, which, like, not bashing PDA, right? Like, you know, it's your own home. But considering I adopted both of them, I feel a little left out that my cats now have a better love life than I do. Which, you know, I'm actually not too mad. You know, I'm glad that my cats get along. I'm glad that they enjoy each other's company. I guess I just feel a little left out that my girl cat has now stolen away my boy cat from me. And apparently also, I've come to learn, is a complete and total hoe, because all of 2 times that I've ever had a guy over, she's been all over them. I feel like she's taunting me, as if I wasn't already working against myself by owning 2 cats at 22. But now one of them is cock-blocking me? So I feel like that's a little bit not my forte. However, even though one of my own cats is a bit of a knob stopper, I would probably go to say that my own type in men is definitely dudes with cats. Bear with me. Looking back on all the best that I've ever known, like, they all had a cat. And I think that's mostly in part to do with the fact that dudes with cats know their way around a pussy. Like, that's just a fact. It's just a fact. And I think this is also more to say that, like, dudes with dogs, dudes that only like dogs, I think maybe having sex with them is probably like masturbating with an electric toothbrush with the bristle side in. Just too aggressive, no rhythm. Also, I feel like dudes with dogs are like way too into butt stuff. You know, again, not kink shaming, just not my thing, right? And plus, like, dudes with cats, like, they're thorough, patient, right? Right? And they also, I think, like to think that they're in charge. And after being a strong, independent woman all day, it's nice to play pretend. I will say this, though. I've been investing in myself a little bit more lately, right? I've been going to the gym almost every day and working out. Mostly because I was pissed that it became a TikTok trend to, like, show your before and after photos of quarantine. And yeah, I had just gained some weight. So I was like, you know, we're gonna make a deal with myself. I'm gonna move my body more intentionally. It'll be great. So as the becoming of the perfect suburban white mom, I've taken up spin classes. But one thing no fitness influencer is gonna tell you about if you cycle frequently and intensely is that you can and will get blisters on your vagina. Speaking from personal experience here, I'm like cracking the code for you. But I also just like want to point out that, like, I'm a diagnosed hypochondriac, and so, like, when I noticed something was going wrong, I immediately assumed that I had an STD. So after internet diagnosing myself with gonorrhea, I went to the doctor and found out, lo and behold, no, not an STD, better blisters. But, like, how do you explain that to somebody? Like, oh, I don't have an STD, I just have blisters on my vagina because I'm a psychopath. Like, that doesn't sound cool. In fact, I was so embarrassed that I think a better answer would have been that I had an STD. So a few days later, I was gonna hang out with this guy that I've been talking to, and I was like, oh, there's a potential that we're gonna hook up. Like, what would I say? So it gets later to that night, eventually, and we are hooking up. And he stops kind of like midway through, and he's like, hey, what are these sores? And so I did what every rational person in this situation would do. I said I had herpes. And, you know, like it's out there. I can't take it back, you know? I can't say, oops, haha, just kidding, don't have herpes, I just have vagina blisters. Like, what sounds more realistic? But it's okay, because he just kind of like looked at me, laughed, and said, haha, good thing I'm wearing a condom, as if it wouldn't have been a deal breaker. Suffice it to say, he was a dog person. Thank you guys, you've been great.
You're probably wondering why. I am too, because I just realized that I didn't introduce myself before I did my set. So I'm Maddie Bunton. I'm president of this whatever it is. And the next person we have up is Felix. Give him a big hand.
Wait, I got it. All right, let's do this.
Yeah!
Hi, everybody. You know what's funny? The pain of other people. Listen, us humans are just terrible freaks who just really enjoy watching the pain of others. That's, of course, why anybody would watch NASCAR or a Fishbowl comedy show. Yeah! Anyway, well, let's just get to the point. Welcome to Felix's roller coaster of pain. Okay, so it all started on February 19th, or as many of you probably know, National Prevent Plagiarism Day, a college student's worst nightmare. Okay. So it was a Friday, and I was really looking forward to my weekend of reading books and not getting my keys stuck in the car. That's a bit of a callback to my previous set. It's part of the Felix Universal Cinematic Kitchen, which has a great acronym. So on this Friday, the root of all my problems started when I was born, November 20th, 2001, which according to me and many of you out there was a terrible mistake. So, you know, but actually it all started when I lost my scarf, which is probably like the worst thing that can happen to a person just based on personal experience. Second, of course, to waterboarding, which I also know from personal experience. So I stomped off to Neff Hall and searched for my garment. It wasn't there. So I stomped out, sad, miserable, depressed, and then it happened. As I walked, I tripped down the stairs, smashed my foot into the ground, and sprained my ankle. First of all, let's keep in mind that I fell down exactly 2 steps of stairs. So it turns out my ankles aren't actually made of bones. They're actually made of tissue paper and the academic integrity of Mizzou students.
Yes.
All right. Now, see, another thought that I sort of had in this moment is like, man, I just left my scarf at home. So I just kind of lay there and I just kind of thought about all the decisions that led me up to this point. Like all the life choices, ideas, you know, what led to this. Like, God, I could have been a math major. Maybe if I was, I would have derived a way for me not to feel pain. All right, so another thing is, you know another thought I had? God, this would make for such a funny stand-up set. That's the problem with stand-up comedians, you see. Anything bad that happens to them, all they do is they turn it into bad puns and terrible jokes. This is why I hate stand-up comedians, especially Asian ones with glasses and who talk too fast. Yeah, fuck that! So, anyway, 2 things I also realized. 1, walking is a lot harder than you might think. I relate a lot to little kids now. It's like, you have to put 1 foot and then the other foot, and you gotta keep going like that for hours. Like, how do you even do that? It's impossible. Second thing I realized is that I told my friend that I'll meet them up for dinner. So I texted them back, you know, I kind of just fell down a set of stairs, but I'll be all right in a few minutes. See you in a bit. Yeah, that was a lie. I had to crawl my way way to a nearby chair like a soldier who just got his leg blown off by a bomb. You know, that relates, I have this brilliant idea for an invention. It's going to be a wheelchair powered by explosives. I think it would make a real boom in the market. Yeah. Alright. So thankfully, my friend is not an idiot and realized I probably shouldn't walk and came over there, right? So they finally got there. Hooray! I'm saved! But the only problem was there was one enemy separating me from the door. My greatest enemy of all. That's right, women.
Yeah!
Wait, I'm wrong. It's my second greatest enemy, stairs. Alright, so with grace and poise, I hopped on one leg and I jumped down those stairs. Somehow not breaking my other leg. Yeah, eat your heart out, Simone Biles. You know, she's watching this set, of course. You just can't see her. She's in the audience. Hi. So, anyway, you know, I'm a pretty smart guy. I like to consider myself very smart, all right? I know a lot about music and art, and, you know, I'm basically like the greatest comedian of all time, and, you know, all these things. But for once, my prestigious intelligence failed me. Instead of opening the door to let my friend in, I ended up opening the door so I could get out. There are several problems with this, okay? Let's think them through. 1, I can't get back in the hall. 2, it was 23 degrees outside and freezing. 3, I didn't check the weather, so I was wearing a t-shirt and shorts. Alright, listen, I'm not one of those douchebags who just wears a t-shirt and shorts no matter what the weather is, okay? I just like leaving my life up to chance, alright? The hand of God himself decides my wardrobe for the day. Now, I guess I should go to church more often then. Yeah, so they obviously, well, you know, I kind of just sat there on the bench for a while as my friend was like, oh my God, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. Let's go get some dinner. Well, there's a big problem with this statement if you know, paid attention at all. We didn't even decide a place to eat beforehand. Come on, how am I supposed to decide? Yeah, I was also in like extreme pain and couldn't walk and blah, 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 whatever. But yeah, listen, do you know how hard it is to walk on a sprained ankle? It's like you're walking, but your ankle is sprained. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Okay, yeah, so, you know, I finally made the decision that was best for my health. And I'm like, man, this really hurts, and I'm in a lot of pain. So let's go get some tacos. All right. So, listen, a lot of people might be thinking I'm kind of an idiot for trying to walk on a sprained ankle. My answer here is, well, have you ever tried it? No, exactly. You know, you gotta try everything at least once in life. New experiences, fresh, get out there, do things. Yeah, I'll see you guys for my set after I go skydiving without a parachute. Should be next week. Yeah, so finally I made the right decision and I stopped by a nearby hall, and God bless you, tall Asian lady who opened the door for me at 7:40 p.m. I'll give you my fucking social security number if you want it. Here, I'll do it right now. No, okay, I already gave it away. Well. Why do urgent care places close so early? Like, seriously, 8 p.m.? Is no one allowed to get hurt after 8 p.m. now? All right. Well, looks like I'm telling that to the next mugger I meet. Sorry, buddy. You can't hurt me. It's 8:02 p.m. Yeah. So my friend loved them, of course, but unfortunately they pulled up and they actually didn't, like, take me inside, so I had to kind of like hop out of their car and onto the curb. So I go up to the waiting room and I see the nurse and I'm like, think I might want to see a doctor. Okay, rest of this. First of all, and I just want to say, the doctor's note not only called me a gentleman, but it also said, denied any history of previous ankle injuries. So even the doctor couldn't believe I hurt myself from falling down 2 stairs. All right, the rest of this is boring. Painful doctor's visit, I ate a burger, you know, had to go through another set of stairs, blah, 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 blah. So what's the moral of the story? Well, you should take the elevator. How do I do this? Help! I need help! I got it.
You got it? Maddie, hurry up.
meeting, Trisha.
Can we all just agree that women aren't funny?
Yeah!
Like every time I hear a woman open her mouth, my brain just turns off because I'm waiting for her to shut the fuck up so a man can explain to me what she said. Like, I'm not even gonna watch this set later because I don't think that women should be allowed to do comedy. Like, how can you make a joke if you don't have a dick? Like, how can you make a funny joke if you don't have a big dick? Like, I mean, like, I got like 10 inches down here, but like, for later. Anybody was interested, I know you're not. I do know one funny woman. I have heard of one. She's not really a comedian. Her name is Sister Cindy, and she preaches around college campuses in a way that it makes me want to worship the Lord. It really does. She should be as famous as the Kardashians. Her thing is that she just like stands in crowded areas of college campuses and just screams that people are whores. Like she'll be like, "You're a slut if you've ever let a man look at you." And everybody's like, "Yeah!" And just like, I want to do that. Does she have an internship? Like, I would do an unpaid internship with Sister Cindy and like ride around in the No Wiener Mobile all summer. Like, I mean, to be honest, I would be down to do speaker circle and like yell about anything. Like, I'm just happy to be on campus and not at home in my apartment. Like, I was so excited about campus being open until I actually had to come back and do an in-person class. Because, like, there's just stuff that you can't do. Like, I can't be in person and pick my underwear out of my ass just because it's stuck. Like, you can't. And when a booger falls out of your nose into your mask and it's just like in there and then it goes into your mouth and you like have to figure out how to get it out of your mouth without having to pull your mask down, because if you pull your mask down, number one, everybody's gonna think that you're a Republican. And also they'll see like this huge booger that has like teeth and hair fall out of your nose and onto the floor where you would have put it. You would have gone on the floor. But another thing I don't miss, when people go around and ask you to say a fun fact. Like, especially in English classes, because those fuckers are weird. And all the fun facts are like, "Oh, I'm gay, that's my fun fact." And I was like, everybody's gay! Like, that's not that fun of a fact. And like, so it got to be my turn, and the guy in front of me was like, "I have a dog." And I was like, "Great." And then my teacher was like, "What's your fun fact?" And I was like, "Oh, sometimes I do stand-up." And like, the traditional end of that joke is somebody being like, "Tell me a joke." That is not what happened. The professor goes, "Do you know any celebrity impressions?" And I was like, "Oh my God, I've been waiting for this my whole life. I know two. And you're not gonna get context, you can Google them later." So the first one is Ozzy Osbourne, which is, "Whoa, Sharon." That's one. And then the second one is my favorite, which is Prince Philip, which is Queen Elizabeth's like dead on a rock husband, and that one is and like, my class didn't like that, and no one has talked to me. They were talking, they're like, "We have a class group chat," and I was like, "Really?" And they're like, "Not for you. Because you did that weird shit on the first day, we don't. Like, I was workshopping one of my essays, and they're like, "Aren't you the bitch that, like, gave her last breath on the first day of class?" And I was like, and like, it's just, like, switching from journalism to English is also not fun. Like, honestly, they're both not fun. Like, I want to graduate so bad and get out of here. That's not even a joke at this point. Like I'm here doing this. Like, I'm not in a good place. Like, okay, and there's no good segue into my last joke. I found out some exciting news the other day. In Joe Biden's America, the KKK just initiated their first non-binary member. Yeah! And like, I'm so proud. I learned about it from like an Instagram graphic that one of my girlies made, and like, I cannot believe that we've become so progressive as a country. Like, I'm so proud of the KKKs. And like, yeah, like, it's still bad. but like, representation, you know? I don't support the KKK, guys. Like, absolutely not. I fucking hate them. Just like, I feel like I can't tell that joke and then not say that. And then, all right. So that was enough. That was enough. I'm gonna be done now.
Hey guys, how are we feeling?
Woo! Yeah!
All right, one person is feeling very good. The rest of you are just devoid of emotion. So next up, last, and certainly least, Ben Prentice.
I realized I needed to start pulling more of my weight in the war against sexism. So I've developed a new tactic to combat sexism. And that's just when a guy says that women aren't funny, I now start saying, so only a dude can make you laugh? That's kind of gay, bro. Because everyone knows that the kind of guy that says women aren't funny, his biggest fear is to be mistaken for a homosexual. I am a man. I like to think that I don't actively participate in being a man. Like, there are guys out there that are like, let's do stuff because we're men. And I just like do stuff because I want to do stuff. And I also just happen to be a man. That's kind of how I rationalize it in my brain. But I do have a joke for the men. It's not really a joke, but like, do you guys remember when you turned 18 and you finally got your penis? It was like such an exciting moment when you woke up and you were like, it's finally here! And then you're like, fuck, that's it, well, at least we got it now. I do have a penis, and sometimes I use that penis for sex. I think we've all heard of sex. People do this crazy thing when they have sex, which is making noise, which I do not do. I stay completely silent until I start getting self-conscious about how silent I'm being. Then I start making noise because I want to reassure the woman that I am, in fact, having a good time. Sometimes I'll even throw in a thumbs up and a smile. Just to like, this is awesome! Another thing that people will do is they'll say words. They'll take it up another step and like make sentences happen, which like sometimes can make sex a lot better. Usually when I do it, it makes things much worse. And I don't know if it necessarily makes it worse for her every time, but it definitely makes it worse for me. Because I just think I sound dumb. And another thing I noticed is like, I say the same things during sex that I say when I'm like watching a sporting event. I'm just like, yeah, fuck yeah, right there, come on, oh, we're so close, we are so close, we are, fuck yes, hey, good job out there, guys. We really put in a nice team performance just then. I haven't been in a relationship in a while. Actually, now that I think about it, I skipped a joke, so let's rewind. Hey, good job out there. I recently had an occasion where a woman said something during sex, and it completely changed the course of action immediately. We were having sex, and she said, I can feel it in my cervix. She said, "Are you okay?" "Me?" She said, "Yeah, why'd you stop?" "You just whipped out a textbook term on me in the middle of intercourse. I went to private school. They did not teach me what a cervix was. I have no clue what's going on in your body right now. I thought you were in pain. I thought you needed medical assistance instantly." I haven't been in a relationship in a while. Over a year and a half now, actually. And truthfully, I haven't even come close to letting myself like somebody in that time. Yeah, I'm a pretty emotionally deprived person. What can I say? But I did actually let myself like someone recently. Pretty cool. It was this girl from my apartment complex. And I met her at the gym. I would see her at the gym sometimes. And one day I was just like, we were at the gym together and I was like, I'm gonna ask her for a number. Which is pretty ballsy of me. But the thing was, she left before I finished my workout. So I was on the treadmill, but I already had it in my mind that I was gonna ask her for a number. So I got off the treadmill and ran out there to catch up with her to ask her for a number. Which in my mind was like a big, grand, romantic gesture. But like in reality, it was just me being like, hey, you, hey. And then she stopped and I did like a half jog, half walk. We'll call it a trot over to her. And it took about a minute. And then I finally got there and I was like, hey, so I know this is super random, but I did get her number and we went on a date actually. And I thought the date was going really well. And then she ended the date by saying, can I see you again? Which means that she also thought the date was going really well. So then we had a second date, which was going really well. In fact, we started making out. And if I had 2 words to describe how we were making out, I would say intense and passionate.
Aww.
It was funny the first time, let's not push it. Oh yeah, it was the kind of makeout where she hit her head against the wall 4 times, but we just kept going. She probably had a minor concussion, but we just we were like, whatever, we'll deal with that later. But things were pretty intense, and then they calmed down for a second, and then she kissed me on my nose. And I'm so emotionally broken, I thought it was an accident. So in my mind I was like, oh, it's dark in here. She thought those were my lips and she just missed and this was an accident. But sometimes my mind works faster than my mouth does, or the other way around. Sometimes my mouth works faster than my mind does. So when it happened, I instantly said, did you mean to do that? She was like, yeah. And I was like, oh. Fuck. I realized I was starting to catch some feels because she kissed me on my nose. So the funny thing was, a few days later, she said, I'm not really looking for a relationship, but you kissed me on my nose. But you kissed me on my nose. This, not a hookup kiss. You can't kiss somebody on the nose and say you're not looking for a relationship. That's messed up. Maybe the cheek. That could maybe be a hookup kiss. Forehead's probably pushing it. Nose, definitely not. Definitely not a hookup kiss. Maybe if you tongue kiss the nose, but that probably just means you're bad at kissing. Right here, relationship exclusively. So that kind of sucked. But I realized I at least got a funny story out of it, because the whole time we were making out, her mouth kind of tasted like Brussels sprouts. Which that shows that I did like her, because it was our first time kissing and her mouth tasted like Brussels sprouts. And I was like, I don't even care. Maybe it was a red flag. Maybe I should have kissed her and been like, Brussels sprouts, no, you're gonna play me. And then left. But I didn't learn that lesson yet. I was too young and naive. But it was messed up because I didn't register that it was Brussels sprouts that my brain attributed that taste to initially. So for a decent amount of the time, I was like, what does this taste? And then I figured it out. It was Brussels sprouts. But I couldn't leave it there. I wanted to, like, see if my hypothesis was correct. I wanted to know if she had eaten Brussels sprouts. But I knew I couldn't just be like, hey, did you have Brussels sprouts for dinner? Because if so, I can fully taste it, and this is the first time we're kissing. But I wanted to figure it out. So I finally picked the best possible thing to do, which was to stop everything and go, do you like Brussels sprouts? Which I realized is a lose-lose question. Because if she did eat Brussels sprouts for dinner, she would then definitely know that I knew that she ate Brussels sprouts for dinner. And that wouldn't be good. But if she didn't, then I just stopped our makeout to ask a question about vegetables. I think it was probably that moment right there where she decided she was not looking for a relationship. My name is Ben Prentice.
Hey guys, I said that Ben was the last act you were gonna see, but luckily for you, I've been feeling kind of mean lately. So if you've ever been to a Fishbowl show before, you know that they leave it up to me to roast everybody for some reason. I did this to myself fully. I thought it'd be a funny bit, but then I realized I have some issues being mean sometimes, so we're gonna see how it works today. My first one is for Emily. Maybe you should join the military, and while it may not whip you into shape, it might put a stop to your home wrecking. The next one is for Felix. Felix, I'm sorry to inform you that some of your jokes seem to be like your ankles, weak.
Whoa.
I'm sorry. No. My next roast isn't really a roast, it's kind of just like a list of things I compiled for Trisha's set. So I have list of things Trisha hates. Women, gay people, school, most things. List of things Trisha likes. The KKK question mark. For Ben, okay, hear me out for a second. Hear me out for a second, okay? Have you ever, like, you know how people talk about, like, pick-me girls? I feel like Ben is, like, the guy version of that. He's like, it's like, oh, I'm like a man, but, like, I'm respectful, and I stand up against sexism, and I'm respectful, and I'm cool, and I'm gonna subtly brag about hitting this girl's cervix, but, like, act like I'm concerned.
Yes. That one's too real.
I'm like emotionally deprived. I'm not looking for a relationship, but like, oh my gosh, I wish someone would do. Anyway, before I get too carried away, thank you for coming to our show, everybody. It's always a fun time to persist, even when it seems the world does not want us to happen anymore. So yeah, check us out. We're super fun and cool and hot and interesting. You can find all of our social media links in the description, I hope. And thank you for coming/watching. Thank you.